Welcome into NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. Today's show, a look at some of the early 2024 NFL draft risers. I could have done fallers, but I wanted to be positive here. Before we get to our list, if you want a new NFL mock draft from me next week, then share today's video. Help me show the bosses this is what you guys want. So share that video right now. First up on the list, who here thought it was going to be Shedeur Sanders? I think every person in the comments section saw this one coming. Sanders has been electric for Colorado. The over-under, like the analytics number says, they're going to win 2.5 games. They've already won 3. Sanders is a legitimate, not just Heisman contender, but a legit NFL quarterback. I'm not as high on him as like Mel Kiper is, but I like Sanders a lot at Jackson State. I said he was a real NFL prospect. I wanted to see how he did against Power 5 teams, D1 teams, and he's been FBS, I guess, technically, but he's been really good so far. Couple tough games coming up. Not going to have Travis Hunter, but Shedeur Sanders' early results have been trending towards that of a legitimate first-round pick. So what do you think ends up happening with Sanders? Will he be a first-round selection? Y for yes, N for no in the comments section. Now, there is a lot of quarterbacks who, in a great college football year for quarterbacks, who have impressed me. Jayden McCarthy was not good in week 3, but he was awesome the first 2 weeks, still stock up. Quinn Ewers was doing great against Alabama. That's a big stock for him. Spencer Rattler, I think, might be answering some of those maturity questions, leadership stuff at South Carolina. He's been good. Tyler Van Dyke, I liked him not last year. Before that was terrible last year. Looks so much better now. Sam Hartman is old, but he's been really good for Notre Dame. Jayden Daniels making some plays. Michael Penix. There are still the big medical questions there. Overall, maybe some athleticism concerns, but he's been really good. I like Jordan Travis. It is a great group of college quarterbacks. Makes the game more fun to watch and also makes it more fun for the NFL draft. Jer'Zhan Newton out of Illinois. Now, I had Newton in my first round initially, but he's becoming kind of more of a household name, so I want to throw him some more love here. 3 games played so far. 14% pressure rate is really good for a defensive lineman. He's also played a ton of snaps, by the way, which is a promising sign as far as I'm concerned. 3 TFLs, 2 sacks. I think it's a very good interior defensive line class. I think Newton leads the way on that front. Who is the biggest NFL draft riser so far? I got a bunch more names to get to, but I want to hear from you guys. So go sound off for me at the pinned comment. Biggest NFL draft riser thus far. Let's go to running backs here. A lot of names are going to go on through, but how about Audric Estime out of Notre Dame? I thought was being overlooked by a lot of people entering this season. 4 games, because remember they played in week 0, the Fighting Irish did. College football is awesome because you get guys averaging 8.3 yards per carry. Small sample size, but you give them the ball, you're just going to march down the field over and over again. I think Estime is a very talented runner. You've got guys like Braylon Allen kind of getting caught in the middle of like a bad scheme, etc. Estime is being featured in this Notre Dame offense. Denzel Burke, who I thought showed a lot of promises as a freshman, I thought regressed in his second year, has been awesome. Someone had asked in our early mock draft, where's Burke? I'm like, I have to see him play consistently. 3 games in, sample size and competition level question marks, he's been awesome. He's broken up as many passes as opposing receivers have caught on him. That does not happen very often. 5 of 17, 66 yards, 0 touchdowns, the 1 interception. He has been a legitimate number 1 corner for OSU. In my next mock draft, he will be in the first round. All right, let's go to Princely Umanmielen. It's an elite name out of Florida. The sack numbers don't pop off the screen, but a 16% pressure rate sure as hell does. Thought he played really well against Tennessee, relatively speaking, by the way. He's kind of stepped up against some better competition after he was good against Utah. Most of the team was not. I am curious if that can continue, but Princely offers plenty of ability as a pass rusher for Florida. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop worrying over tickets and get hyped for last-minute deals for the fun you'll have thanks to GameTime, the sponsor of today's show. You have images of seats before you buy them. It's 2 taps, and you are set when it comes to your tickets. They're sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your email either. The GameTime guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find it in the same section and row for less, GameTime is going to credit you 110% of the difference. That is a fantastic deal. They're just going to give you extra money if it's not the best price. It's awesome there. You can use code NFL Chat, NFL Chat for $20 off your first purchase. Simply download the GameTime app at gametime.co, create your account, and use that code NFL Chat. Click the profile button. It's the bottom right of the app itself. Hit redeem code, plug it in, $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but create your account and redeem code NFL Chat for $20 off your first purchase. Download GameTime today for last-minute tickets, the lowest price guaranteed. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. It's gametime.co, promo code NFL Chat. Let's stick on the defensive line. Now, David Vann is kind of a 3 or 5 technique at NC State's 3-4 scheme. A bit of a tweener, might raise some red flags, but the pressure rate is eye-popping. 17.2%. I thought week 2 college football, he was one of the best players overall. He's looked awesome so far this year. Another under-the-radar defensive name, Jaden Hicks out of Washington State, who I think taking a big step forward this year. And I'm a sucker for a safety. I won't apologize for it. 3 games played, got 18 tackles, 1.5 TFLs, half a sack, interception, 4 pass breakups. I would say at his best in coverage. It's a pretty solid safety class. Don't sleep on Jaden Hicks. After all, we're not going with only big names. That defeats purposes of being a riser. Now, who is your favorite college football team to watch this year? It doesn't be your favorite team. What one have you enjoyed watching the most? I suspect we'll have more answers for Colorado than ever before, but sound off for me in that comments section. Jasheen Davis out of Wake Forest here. He has 4.5 sacks in 3 games. And they're not fluky. 16.5% pressure rate, 5.5 TFLs. Now, a lot of those came against Old Dominion, so asterisk it. But still, he's getting home, he's getting sacks. That is certainly valuable. Keon Coleman, the Michigan State transfer for FSU, showing why the quarterback play for Sparty sucked last year. Jayden Reed was a top, I think, 75 draft pick, somewhere in that range. Keon Coleman, especially back in week 1, was unguardable against LSU. 12 catches, 170 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 14.2 yards per catch. In an open battle for wide receiver 2, I think that Coleman, and we'll get to Malik Neighbors, by the way, in a little bit, are certainly among those in contention. Time for a name I promise you are not seeing anywhere else, but I will go slightly homer here on this one. That is Miami of Ohio wide receiver, my alma mater, Gage Larrivee, who was a transfer from southeastern Louisiana. Transfers on up. He is draft eligible, but by the way, could go back to school, and I would probably lean towards he would, but I want to show him some love today. These numbers are stupid. 17 catches, 432 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 25 yards per catch. He caught 1 pass against Cincinnati. They tried to lock it down after that. 79-yard score. Against UMass, 8 catches, 273 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He had a 99-yard catch and run, by the way. Against Miami of Florida, he had 8 catches for 80 yards. That's against a legitimate ACC contender in Miami. He went for 8 for 80. This is a dynamic football player who also offers some return ability. He did a little bit against UMass, 3 for 34 on the punt return side of it there. He is kind of skinny, I like him from that perspective, but he's electric. He's only a junior technically, but he played basketball at Southeastern Louisiana too, now making waves as one of the better MAC players this season. Who did I not put on the NFL Draft Risers list? There are absolutely several names that I did not get to. We'll get to some wide receivers that I didn't mention, so just be aware of that. We're going to get to that too. But who did I not put on this list? Sound off in the comments section. I think Malik Neighbors, I didn't want to go all QBs, all receivers, so I kind of went quick here. Malik Neighbors looks great. Torrey Horton impressed against Colorado in particular. Jalen McMillan, the other Washington receiver, is very good. Roman Wilson is part of a Michigan team that's going to have a ton of day 2 and day 3 draft picks. He's one of them. A.D. Mitchell from Texas, small sample size guy, but he's been big-time playmaker when he's gotten those targets.